Good afternoon, everybody. This is episode 5 of the Sports Card Advantage podcast. I am Jeff, and this is Bunk. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
Fantastic. Getting to be a little spring weather. First pitch of baseball. For those that are listening to this, we are recording this April 1st at 9:50 p.m. First pitch of baseball started today. You fired up for some Yankees baseball?
Until they lost, yes. But yeah, I got my MLB TV package loaded up today. Super pumped. Just watching baseball all day.
Fantastic. Watching baseball on TV is one of the most boring things on the face of the planet. But, to each his own, as they say.
This guy.
Well, we will jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about partial ownership. With the rise in prices of sports cards and things just getting absolutely out of control, cards selling for 6 figures, 7 figures, there are companies out there like Collectible, like Rally, that have started partial ownership programs where basically you can sign up for an app, put some money into an account, and then buy shares of a card similar to a stock. What's your take on partial ownership? Does it cheapen the hobby? Does it make you feel any less good about collecting when all you have is, a screen that says you own 14 shares of Patrick Mahomes rookie or Derek Jeter rookie or, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I need to have it in hand. I need to hold it. I need to display it. I need to see it. But I get it from the standpoint, I think I saw one of these ads. They were doing shares of a 56 Mantle created the other day. And,
yeah, I mean, for example, coming up on a few of the apps, there's a 2016 Tatis Black Label. There's a 1961 Chamberlain. There is like a Stan Musial, and they've done some early Mantles. So there's definitely some really fantastic 2017 Mahomes stuff, some Brady. So
right, and unless I somehow acquire all the shares, I'll never own the card myself.
Yeah, I don't even know if you acquire all the shares. They send you the card. I think you just own the shares.
Yeah, so I mean, and then I know on Collectible you can trade shares. They open up these windows where you can trade. You can trade a piece of Muhammad Ali's shorts for a piece of a graded Mantle, and depending on value and stuff. It's just weird to me.
They did an Andre the Giant jockstrap the other day, where it literally they sold $30,000 worth of shares of Andre the Giant's game used jockstrap.
Which would be cool as hell if I had it up on my wall.
Guy,
I don't need 10%
really put
of a
Andre
jockstrap.
the Giant's jockstrap on your wall.
From Grenoble, France.
Well, I mean, I think
I can't do it. It's like the digital cards. I can't do that either. I can't. Yeah, I can look at them on the computer, but I can't do anything with them. I know some of them you play games and you can win stuff with, but I think it's just kind of shammy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as far as, stock market background and been in trading for most of my life, I think it serves a purpose, and the purpose is money. So if they run these like IPOs, yeah, like anything else in this business, why you're selling $2,500 boxes of Prism and whatever, it's all business. And, being able to acquire shares, they IPO it like anything else. So you have to be first to get in to get that base price. And then as soon as it funds and the whole thing has been purchased, then they open up a marketplace, and it's just all about demand and what people are willing to pay for shares. So you could buy a $10 share of a Brady rookie, and then all of a sudden it's $70. But to get in the IPO is fucking impossible. Like, you literally got to be on your phone, wait till the thing, and like all ready to go like immediately.
Yeah, this is outside the hobby for me. This is just straight up, I'm trying to make some money. You're not collecting anything. You're not a collector. I mean, I'm sure collectors are in it trying to make money, but you're not a collector picking up IPOs of a piece of one of these cards you mentioned before. You're just in it to it's going to go up in value, hopefully, and you make some money off of it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is, and then the other aspect of this is then they could get an offer on the card itself and then choose to sell the card. So it's happened a few times in the past, and they do it based on a majority. So
I was
let's
gonna say, do
say,
you vote on it as a shareholder?
yep, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it
kind of cool.
if you so for example, there was, I believe, was it? There was a Brady rookie, I believe, and they got an offer that was double what people bought in for, and people voted it down. They didn't get enough of a majority to sell the card, and they opted as the majority to keep it and sit on it and see if it's going to go up in value. But then there's been others where people have gotten 75-80% above what they paid for it, and the majority voted to sell, so they sold the card and paid out to shareholders. So it's a different aspect of the business, but at the same time, it's for money. That's all it is. This is a straight up money play. There isn't nostalgia or anything else. I personally am in agreement with you that if I can't hold it, touch it, show it, it's at that point it's all about money. And there's a certain place for it. There's definitely a market and an appetite, dude. These things fund quick. Like if you don't get in, I mean, there'll be $300,000-$400,000 cards, and they're funded in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and listen, as a collector, if there's a sports related thing that I can potentially make money on to buy more cards with, I'd consider it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting play. At some point in future episodes, we'll talk about some of the apps that are out there that are more stock market like. But I mean, this has a certain place, but you can trade shares, buy and sell, but it doesn't necessarily operate like that. These are shares of actual cards. Some of the stock market stuff are players, and it's more based on performance, and this I think is more based on card value and what people are deeming value for the cards. We'll talk about some of the apps and how to get into it in a few minutes, but we're gonna save that for the 101 section of this. And in the meantime, we'll do our investments and flips. So why don't you kick us off with Jeter Downs?
Yeah, I was opening day. I wanted to stick with baseball. It's getting slimmer and slimmer trying to find a good pick in baseball because if everyone knows everything now and the hype's real on everyone. So, but I went with Jeter Downs. His mom named him after Derek Jeter, so that's cool.
Which means we're fucking old, is what that means, because
yeah,
if he was named after Jeter, we were born when Jeter, we were 14 when Jeter was a rookie.
96, yeah.
I thought Jeter's rookie was 93.
Oh, his debut was in 96. His cards are 93, yes.
Yeah. Excuse me, Derek Jeter historian. So yeah, I was going based on that. Either way, we were 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever it was. That means, this kid, he's got to be what, 20?
Jeter Downs?
Yeah.
He's 22, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that means we're getting there.
and I also chose him because he's an inch taller than your boy Juan DeFranco. So clearly
he's gonna be a home run hitter
because of that.
Exactly, guy.
No, listen, he went over in the Mookie Betts deal. It pretty much solidified at that because Boston's a disaster right now. So now he got hurt mid-March, so he's going to be down for a little bit. But he's pretty much, from all accounts, going to be their everyday second baseman. I was looking at his 2017 first Bowman's, paper-based, chrome, and refractors, all coming in PSA 10, all coming in under $100. And if you check out the population reports, all of those are under 100 as well, which is encouraging. And with the 500 million cards stuck at PSA right now, I don't think there's too many Jeter Downs stuck in there. Yeah. So I'm liking Jeter Downs right now, just from a price point, and he's going to get a shot with the Red Sox this year.
And for those of you that are watching, we do have the 2017 first Bowman Chrome Blue Jeter Downs on the screen, so you can get an idea of what the card looks like and which card we're talking about.
His autos are still pretty pricey. So from an investment standpoint, I'm not looking at that. I mean, if you got the change, get in there. But for a lower budget option of a nice player, I'm going with the non-auto of the ones we just discussed.
Cool. All right. I'm going to switch gears over here to basketball. We're going to talk a little bit of off-brand. And when I say off-brand, I'm talking non-Prism. I have seen some of the things non-Prism hold value. I think we're seeing, Luka hit basically lows on Prism. I'll bring those up right now for those of you that are watching. The levels that we're starting to see, we're creeping real close to that $1,000 mark, and we haven't seen those types of prices on these Lukas since last summer. And I personally think that you could see these cards with the high populations when everything comes back from PSA. That's going to bump up even more. These cards could easily drop to $750 or less. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're buying Luka, I'd wait. There's a lot of people that are panic selling right now. So if you're buying Luka Prism, let me rephrase that, I would wait. There is a Luka that I like a lot. And that is the 2018 Luka Revolution. Let me just bring that up.
Yeah, you said you were a fan of that one.
I like Revolution as a whole. They don't have the prestige as much as Prism, obviously, but at the same time, I just think it's just a cool looking card. If you look here, this is actually the Chinese New Year variation of the Luka Prism. So these are awesome. The pop's 164. Your price is at $700. So if you think Luka's gonna be one of the great ones, these are the cards that I'd be starting to look at, especially if you don't want to spend $1,000 or whatever. Chinese New Year or the regular revolutions. The regular revolutions are 400 or 500. The Chinese New Year's are 700. Both are population less than 500.
Jeez. So for a couple $100 less and 17,000 less available, I can get that Luka.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the Chinese New Year are limited. It's a limited run. It's harder. It's much harder to get. And as I said, the population on the Chinese New Year is the 164, and the regular Revolution, let me see if I can find that here.
Right. So if I want to spend that kind of money, it comes in a little bit under a Prism, and it's much more scarce.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, the problem is a lot of people, like your basketball hardcore guys, are just like, ugh, Revolution. So,
yeah.
but when push comes to shove, and we're talking 10 years from now, and you got a scarcer PSA 10 Luka, I don't think it's going to be an issue.
I mean, I'm a numbers guy, I'm a charts guy, and I look at my charts. This chart to me is a much stronger chart to look at than your Prism chart. This chart to me shows balance and potential strength. And your Luka Prism chart shows weakness, and it shows, patterns that you could easily see another $400 or $500 come off the price of that card over the course of the next 6 months to a year.
Especially if you're telling me there's 5,000 more stuck at PSA right now, if not more. I'm sure there's more. But
yeah, I mean, there's 500,000 cards or whatever it is stuck at PSA. There's got to be. I mean, the pops.
Oh, there's more than that.
The pop report on the Luka Prism PSA 10 has gone up 350 in the last 4 to 6 weeks. And that's with everything backed up. So in another few months, with whatever else they're going to process, you got to figure that goes up by another 1,000, 1,500. And it's just going to keep going up. So yeah. I love the idea. If you think that Luka is going to have the type of career that he goes down as one of the top 10 basketball players of all time, I'd be looking at other stuff. And I think your Revolution product, even though it's not as regarded as a strong of a name as Prism, you're not going to have anywhere near the pop. And it's just a cool looking card. In my opinion, the Revolution card looks so much better than the Prism card. So, I mean, that's personally,
and it should be a tougher grade too, right? I mean, the chromes are easier to find the gems in. typically.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the card, it definitely could be a tougher grade, and that maybe why there's so much less as far as the PSA 10s. So, I mean, and if you look at some other players, you see similar stories as far as the Prism value is coming down, and then other cards, your Optics, your Revolution, some of those other brands are staying flat or increasing in value. So between the population, and you got to also ask whether or not some of the shine is wearing off Prism. The other day when they released the new 2021 first off the line Dutch auction, I mean, that thing went to the bottom and they closed it, quote unquote, because it sold out. But you got to wonder whether or not it actually sold out or whether or not they just put the sold out sign to make it look to save face.
Well, the argument too is the class isn't great, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, LaMelo's heard the class is developing. It isn't the types of names and whatever else that were last year or even the year before with Trey and Luka, and even the year before that with Tatum and Mitchell. So you don't know, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like the ferocious desire is there for it, and that may have impact everything else. Alrighty, we're gonna roll right into our lottery ticket. We'll stay with basketball. We're gonna talk real quick because we're gonna try to just keep everything moving. We're talking Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey, guy, did a little research on Saddiq Bey before we got on here. So why don't you give me a little 2 seconds on how Saddiq Bey became a Detroit Piston?
You're really asking the wrong guy about that. I was more curious if he was related to Darius Hayward Bey, honestly.
We'll have to have our imaginary stat boy take a look at that and see. But yeah, we're going with Saddiq Bey. He's a rookie. He's developing. He's playing some decent ball in Detroit, even though Detroit is terrible. They're in last place, but that should give them an opportunity to build in the draft. And if they can put some players together, him and Sekou together, if they can build a nucleus and get that team rolling, he's averaging 11 points a game right now, and you can pick up his cards real cheap on eBay. His 2021 Prisms, some of the refractors are already up and selling, and those are going for like 30 or 40 bucks. And some of his other base cards you can get for 15 or 20. So if you're looking to collect basketball and potentially have something that could pop in a few years, when he matures a little bit, it's something you can get cheap and stash and look at next year, depending on what's going on with the Pistons.
Yeah, that's what all the guys that I talk to in the hobby that are very knowledgeable basketball guys. They're all over these guys that aren't the top talents, and they know who to get in on low, and this is the perfect candidate. He's not your household name yet, and to your point, nice lotto ticket.
Yeah, there's a few other guys we'll probably talk about over the course of the next few weeks that are 2021 NBA rookies that it's going to take them a year or two to mature, but they could eventually turn into players, and those are guys you want to stack now. Buy their base cards and some of their refractors and autos for 15 to 40 or 50 bucks. Send them out, get them graded when PSA is up and running again, or HDA or whatever you're going to send them to, and then just sit on them and see what happens. But it should be you could easily get 4 or 5 Saddiq Bey cards for less than $100 and ship them out for cheap grading and just sit on them.
I can get 1,000 Darius Hayward Beys for that much.
Yes, you probably can. I'll challenge you whether or not you could find 1,000 Darius Hayward Bey cards in general.
I'd be shocked if there's more than 1,000 listings currently of Darius Hayward.
I'd be shocked if there's more than fucking 10 listings of Darius Hayward Bey right now.
Oh, there's definitely more than 10. There's 10 clowns out there trying to sell an autograph of him for $500 or best offer. I guarantee it.
For the sake of this exercise, we're gonna fucking look this up right now. How the hell do you even spell Darius Hayward Bay? Darius Hayward.
As it sounds.
There it is. All right, what do you got for me? 1, 2. Does this count? Is this even a card?
Sort by highest price.
I was gonna say best match, considering we got fucking Robert Griffin III in here, or whatever this is, 2012 Prism. Ew, somebody's actually trying to get $2,000 for a Darius Hayward Bay card.
I told you, there's always clowns. Look at this. I got a $2,700 helmet. Get out of here.
It doesn't count as a card, though.
I know. Yeah, look at this. $400 National Treasures, 3 of 3.
Wow, there's a surprising amount of Darius Hayward Bay stuff on eBay right now.
I told you.
Well, we got at least one full
people that should have sold 3 years ago are kicking themselves, but they leave the price up really high still.
We have at least one full page of Darius Hayward Bay, and the best part of this is people are actually paying for sponsored ads of Darius Hayward Bay cards. That is fantastic. Moving right along. All right, we're gonna switch gears back to fractional ownership. We already talked a bunch about this. I'm going to make it really quick. It's simple. Literally go to your app store. The two that I'd recommend for the purposes of if you want something that's reliable, you want, top of the heap, no concerns as far as any kind of shadiness or anything else. Collectible and Rally are your two. They are app-based, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So you got to go to the app store, either iOS or Android, download the apps, fill out the paperwork that they send you, and then make a deposit. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes basically to do this. The other thing too that you got to be aware of is they release cards on a really slow trickle. So it's not like there's dozens of cards that go up every day. It's literally like 1 or 2 big name pieces a week, and then they're selling the shares of those, and then you're buying and selling other shares, but those are already at a premium. So just do your homework on card values, and don't be buying shares of stuff that is way overpriced for the actual value of the card in real life. You want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're buying shares. But it's a really easy process. You can get in very, very quickly. So if something you want to check out, a lot of the initial offerings and some of the stuff that's up, you can buy shares for $10. So I put $60 into an account and actually own 3 $20 shares of like a 1971 football box where I think there's like a Bronco Nagurski, whatever that's in there, just as a thing to mess around with. It was the only thing I could actually get into at the time when I opened. So, but as I said, it's super easy to get into, and if it's worth playing around with if you have any curiosity about it.
Do you happen to know if they take a piece of your money on the way out, or how the cash out works?
As far as like selling your shares?
Yeah.
I
like if your $3 $20 shares are now worth 25 a piece, and they put 75 back in your account. Can you take 75, or they take a piece?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not important. It's just no right now, but that's something I would look for.
Yeah, I'm not.
A lot of people do. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if there's a platform fee or not.
Yeah, they might have rules.
So there's an initial 90-day lockup period once you purchase, so you can't like flip something quickly. So it means if you buy in, you're invested for 90 days.
That's too long for a lot of flippers.
Yeah, 100%. But once you pass the 90 days, then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're buying stuff weekly, then you get to that point. It's like, okay, and I can just do what I want weekly. No, I just look at stuff like that because for example, a lot of people don't realize, like on Check Out My Cards, if you want to cash out, they take 10%. So you've been paying fees and whatever. Now, granted, it's still way better than eBay in my opinion, but they're still taking 10% at the end of the day if you want to just straight cash out from their platform.
Yeah, they got to make money.
Well, they make 3 cents on all my low dollar sales.
It doesn't look like it based on the FAQs. They could be a broker. I mean, they're basically a broker in this, so there's maybe a spread, so you're, buying a share and you get 98% of whatever you bought or whatever, and they're taking the middle type of thing. I don't know. We'll have to do a little bit more research on that and post some stuff in social media as a follow-up. Post it on Instagram and Twitter. As a follow-up, we'll email them and get the information. Alrighty, hot take for the day. PSA shut down. Everybody and their mother talking about it. For those of you who don't know, PSA has shut down most of their operations, other than those that are wanting to spend $300 or $400 on submissions. Otherwise, everything else is basically frozen for the time being. They said that they're going to stagger the opening back into July 1st. So my question for you is, will PSA, when they come back, be number one? Is shutting down for the next 3 months going to open the door for an HGA, BGS, SGC type company?
Yeah, well, I think it opens the door for one of those companies to do something bold to boost their brand. SGC decided to fail at that and raise their prices instantly after the shutdown. So they raised their prices to something absurd. Not that I'd send there anyway, and now I'm really not sending there.
Yeah, that doesn't. You'd think that you'd want to lower your prices and get people to submit and use you, see how good you are, versus prohibit them by trying to make more money off them.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like their express, but they instantly announced some an increase in their fees. So that was their move. No one else has really made a move yet, but yeah, I mean, can we believe that PSA is going to be caught up by July 1st by not taking any more new? And to be clear, they're not taking like the big bulks and I know you had posted a video a couple of days ago breaking down what they stopped taking, but they're still going to get cards in, and I'm sure it's only going to be a fraction of their staff that is going to handle the higher dollar submissions, and those are typically less cards. But I mean, can we believe they're going to be done by July 1st? I don't know. I have no idea. And then the other big thing in this, and I know people really don't like my take on this, but there is that many cards coming back, and I bet you out of what percentage do you think of this 500,000 a week over last year that they were receiving, and that they're this far behind? What percentage do you think are cards that are probably 2017, 2018 forward?
Most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah,
exactly. That's so. I to a really good point I heard talking to some guys today or yesterday even was, well, boy, maybe you want to start scooping up pre-2016 stuff, because those pop reports probably aren't gonna go crazy. But your big cards from 2017 forward, and you think they're high now, those pop reports are going to be massive. And I don't know how to predict what's going to happen, because clearly right now people don't care too much about the scarcity on some of these population reports. But listen, when I was, before this boom and in the middle of the 2000s, the coolest card in the world was a Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor numbered to 50. That was the card. You got one of those in a pack or a box. That was like cool. You know why? Because there was only 50 of them. 50. That was it. And they still sold for crap then, but at least you got more than some of the other cards. I really think, I can't predict it, but to me, things need to be scarcer to have more value. And at some point, when the dust settles on all this, it's going to be a problem when there's 28,000 PSA 10s. Now, I know PSA hands out 10s like candy. And again, people hate that take, but they do. Look at the numbers. There are 1 trillion 10s. Okay, I'm done with that. But so when the dust settles on this, I don't know. I hope they can get caught up. They need to get caught up, because in the next 3 months, people are going to be sending their cards elsewhere, because grading's not going to stop because PSA shut down.
Nope. People are still wanting to get cards graded and flip them for more money. They want to buy raw for whatever, get them, see if they can get a high grade and flip them for 8 to 10x their money. That's just the nature of the business.
And if HDA can stop their couple of their errors that are getting viral on social media, and that's just because there's haters and they're going all over. It's like watching the news.
So much
car accidents and fires.
Yeah, there's so much HGA venom out there. It's ridiculous.
if they can get their act together, I mean, as of right now, HGA on some of these big cards, they're outselling PSA 10s.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them. So if they can get their act together and get their turnaround times the way they say it's going to be, continue looking great things, not screwing up, continuing with the great customer service that I've seen from them so far, I think they have a good shot.
Yeah, we looked at 2011 Topps Update Trout HGA 8 today, which had 2 days left, and the price was already more than the PSA 8 equivalent.
And listen, and we talked about this last week. People like arty, shiny things and new things. So how much of that is because it's the Trout card, or is it they love the fact that it's just going to display that much better?
But at the same time,
or they like the slab.
And at the same time, and I know all the hobby hall monitors out there are going to freak out, but people have the in case of emergency break glass attitude with HGA, so they can send it to HGA, get it graded by HGA, and for whatever reason HGA flops, you break it open and resubmit to PSA. I mean, so I think at least the way I would look at it is there's no risk. Send it to HGA, you get it graded. If you're looking to flip, you can make the money now while it's still shiny, or if you're looking to hold it for longer term, you can just hold it. And for whatever reason, 3 years from now, HGA goes out of business, you just crack the slab open and you just submit it to PSA. With that said, though, if I had a 86 Fleer, I'm not submitting that fucking thing to HGA. I mean, if I had an 86 Fleer, that's going to PSA 100%. And I've seen 86 Fleer Jordans in HGA slabs. They look awesome. But
you're doing that purely because of the resale value of PSA or another reason?
Yeah, purely the resale value. Like for me, if I had an 86 Jordan, I'm going balls out for that PSA 10 so that I can put $500,000 in my pocket.
And I can't be mad at that. I get it. I've talked about this. I understand PSA rules the secondary market. But for me, I'm going to believe that another company is going to have a better graded card inside its slab.
Yeah, and I'm all for competition. I don't need the purity of PSA. And once again, I'm gonna start abusing this term because I hate the fucking hobby hall monitors out there. The people that are making so many comments about what should be done. It's like people have their own free will. If you want to buy into these other companies, go do it. I mean, it's your choice whether or not you can buy in or not. But to say that they are making the hobby worse because of it, I strongly disagree.
Well, your fourth stimulus check is going to include a PSA 10 because there's plenty of them to send to everybody.
I've gotten 0 stimulus checks to date, so I'm not getting any. All right, let's wrap that up, and then we got one more peanut gallery. Switching back to baseball, opening day. I am a baseball fan. I'm a baseball collector. I know that we've seen prices go up pretty dramatically over the last 6 weeks. Is it too late to be buying baseball this year? Have I missed the window? Or, will there be times that I can be buying baseball again that isn't at prices that are astronomical?
And I'm assuming it's so you can make money. You're asking me this question?
No, just assuming even PC. Do you want to pay 3x for a card that you're gonna stick in your personal collection? Unless it's super rare and it only comes around once in a blue moon, do you still want to pay 2 to 3x for your PC?
Like anything else, I'm doing my homework. I know traditionally X, Y, and Z is gonna sell better or sell less November to February, and I'll wait. And if I get a good deal on something, I'll jump on it. But now we're in the middle of baseball season. I'm a big set builder, so I'm trying to buy singles for sets and stuff, and it's tougher now during baseball season because even things that shouldn't be more than $1 are people are buying these days. So I just let them go by and I wait for them later.
I mean, will there be opportunities typically, with your superstars if they, Tatis, Soto, Acuna, 2-3 week slump? Are card prices dipping enough to look for entries? Are there other things, guys in the minors, stuff like that? Are you looking for those types of opportunities during the season?
So the opportunities I'm looking for during the season is a couple things. So to your point about the superstars, now 2 week slump's not gonna move the needle down enough to get in on them. Your superstars are going to stay that way. I think what might help some of those guys or the tier below those guys is if the team stinks and people start losing interest. And some of your smaller markets, you can try to dip in there. And then the other thing to look for too now is it's pretty easy to search and find. There's a guy like Jeter Downs, for example. There's a handful of guys that are going to be mid-season call-ups, or they're going to be your guys that they're saving a year of team control on, and then are going to be coming up May 15th or whatever the date they established is. So those are the guys you can look for now. They're not in the bigs yet. They're coming, and maybe there's a little, if the anticipation buys aren't there yet, you can look to get in at a lower price point on them.
Awesome. And that will do it for us. Episode 5 in the books. Episode 6 coming next week. Thank you, Bunk. Appreciate the time today. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.